There are other individuals fighting against Superman, not just Batman. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then reread it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. If this is your first Injustice video, then I feel like preparing you for Year 5 with the Year 4 annual. Keep in mind, this entire event takes place in its own universe, away from everything. And if you are watching this video when it initially comes out, there is no Year 5 yet. Regardless of how many times you ask, DC has only printed one issue of it, so we're going to have to wait for it to finish before we can do more. There was a time when one who could soar overhead chose to walk among us. But then, things changed. He lost his wife, his unborn child, and the man that he thought was his friend started a war against him. In his place no longer stood a symbol of hope, but a symbol of fear and control. As the old saying goes, you'll either die a hero, or you'll live long enough to see yourself turn into a tyrannical, despotic monster. In the center of Metropolis, someone blew up a statue of Superman, and he arrives there with the Flash. Superman tells him to round up the terrorists, and in an instant he grabs all 4 of them. But then they all receive word that there is actually 5 terrorists. Superman asks these people who they are, and one brave woman tells him they are the ordinary people against the rule of Superman. Superman and Flash then run off to find the 5th person, not realizing that the 5th person is right there. You see, he's the bench. He's actually a shapeshifter, and at this exact moment, he is the bench right next to where they tied up all of his friends. He gets up and he begins to untie them, but they tell him to stay hidden, and he tells them, shh, we don't have a lot of time. But that's when the Flash shows up standing next to them. You actually have less than a minute. The shapeshifter turns into a massive monster, but before he can do anything, Superman knocks him out cold, and they take him to the Hall of Justice. This boy is a problem, because his name is Luke, and he's actually the son of Patrick O'Brien, or as you may better know him as, Plastic Man. Like what you done with the place! What do you want, Plastic Man? For you to stop pretending you don't know that I'm here for my son? We can't release your son. Of course you can. What's the point of being a despot if you can't abuse your power for your friends? All the best dictatorships have a healthy sprinkling of nepotism. Am I right? Up top. He then holds his hand up for Superman to give him a high five, and of course, Superman ignores it. Wonder Woman chimes in. Superman is no despot. He is literally sitting on a throne. It's a chair. Well, it's a very big chair. Oh, come on. Do you guys really think you're still the good guys here? Look at you. You don't even have to look in the mirror. Look at your teammate Sinestro. He has an actual bad guy mustache. I bet he even twirls it when you're not looking. Whatever you have to say, Plastic Man, it won't change our minds. What the hell is wrong with you? Considering this all started with your own child, I figured you'd have a bit more empathy. Superman leaps out of the chair, ready to slam Plastic Man into the ground, and the Flash stomps him. Plas, it's time to go. Flash and Plas both walk out, and Flash tries to talk him down, telling him that he's sorry, but it's time for Plas to go with Plan B. And he wraps up and incapacitates the Flash, so that he can take the Flash's shape. He quickly works his way all the way back to the Hall of Justice, where as the Flash, he tricks Cyborg into showing him the prison's weaknesses, and then he stops by their armory on the way out for a few Green Lantern rings. Then, with his plan all laid out, he gets to work by having a chopper drop him off above the underwater prison, and he turns himself into some dead weight to float to the bottom without worrying about the pressure. While he was a deadbeat father who was never around, even he won't leave his son in the prison. So he gets down to one of the weaknesses and he oozes his way through, and then he knocks out one of the guards, taking his identity. Then, as the guard, he makes his way into the cafeteria where he sees the infamous Green Lantern, Kilowog. I'm not who you think I am, friend. I'm here to get you out, but I need to find a shapeshifter that was just brought in. Kilowog continues to munch on his sandwich. You'd be down with the other superpowered individuals. All right, I'll be back to get you out, but I'll need your help. I need all of the attention on this room. Ha! Easy. So Kilowog stands up and he walks over to Bane. Hey Bane, I don't know how to properly insult your mother in your language, so he headbutts him, starting a prison riot. Plas then walks his way down to the superpowered cells and he sees a massive lock. The voice in the intercom begins to talk to him. There you are, Plas. I was told to watch for you. You won't be able to get past the lock. It's the most advanced in the world. So Plas shoves his entire hand into the lock, fiddles around, and then pulls out his middle finger in the shape of a key. Hey, look, I found the key. He opens up every cell, freeing all of the villains like Killer Croc, Livewire, and Gorilla Grodd. And that's when the rest of the league gets the alert, and they begin to move quickly to the prison. Plas runs into the cafeteria and yells for Kilowog. Hey, stop fighting! And just then, the warden appears from the vents. It's Metamorpho. Oh, hi, Rex! Every conflict is instantly stopped as Superman is knocking on the glass dome over their heads. All a part of Plas's plan though, as he yells, Kilowog, catch! And he throws all of the Green Lantern rings to the imprisoned Green Lanterns. Sinestro panics from the other side of the dome, and he fires a beam through the glass, breaking it and killing Kilowog before he can put his ring on. Kilowog looks down at the wound on his chest. and he falls to the ground around all of the Green Lanterns getting their powers back. Plas stretches himself out to cover the ceiling and keep the water from getting in. "We need this glass! Take this belt, Luke!" And he throws a belt down for Luke to put on. But Captain Cold is the one who realizes that that is actually Mirror Master's belt. Luke opens a portal on the glass and Plas stretches himself to his limits to keep the water out. "Stretch out now, Luke! Get everyone out of here!" And eventually, there is only Plas stretching so thin that he's literally tearing himself apart. Luke stretches his neck out to talk to his father. "Dad, come on! I can't move, Luke! Go on without me! Of course you can! But you know what I think? I think you like the drama. I think a screwed up part of you would actually rather sacrifice yourself here than escape and hang out with me." Plas thinks about it. That's actually pretty insightful. He smiles and he takes Luke's hand, allowing the both of them to get out of the prison. And with that, all of the villains, the Green Lanterns, and Plas are all in Mirror World, ready to leave, free from the Justice League's underwater prison. I know some of you are criminals, it's kind of what you do, and I know some of you are truly nightmarishly evil. I'm trying my best to ignore my responsibilities and let you run around continue being little shits. But my son was locked up for standing up against Superman. So let's make a deal. Focus most of your evil on Superman and make his life a living hell. And I'll let you all walk free. Croc's the one that looks up. Sure. And everyone leaves, going back to the real world, leading us to year 5. The villains are free. So what's gonna happen next? Like I said at the start of this video, the only issue out right now is issue 1, so it's going to be a while before we can hit year 5, but if you wanna check it out yourself, it is released digitally every Tuesday on the DC Digital Store. I'll put a link to them in the description down below so you can enjoy this story yourself if you don't wanna wait. I'm Benny the Comicstorian, and I'll see you next time right here.